Okay, so welcome to Kibu츠 Niroz. My name is Tali. I work in the Jewish Agency for Israel. I was born and raised in this kibbutz. This kibbutz was established in 1955 by a group from the Shomer HaTzair. It's a youth movement that came to flourish the desert all along the Gaza Strip border. This kibbutz was established as a social collective that shared everything, from cars to salaries and even gifts that people get for their weddings. Everything was shared. The kids were sleeping in a children's house, and all the events of the community, we called it rooms because it's very small living room, only for sleeping. Everything was outside, in the pool, on the grass, in the dining room. Everything was shared and outside. This community was relatively small. It contains 400 people, about 100 families, okay, that were living here until October 7. On October 7, on 6:29 in the morning, the Hamas attacked with thousands of rockets all over Israel. It was Saturday morning. Most of the people were sleeping in the rooms or in the safe room. And the people that were not at home went quickly to their homes to get into the shelter. And the tactic was to attack from one gate in the north that you just came in, another gate in the south, another gate in the vineyard, and a hole that they cut in the fence in front of the house of the head of security team in the kibbutz. The terrorists arrived with maps of the kibbutz and they targeted the head of the security. They shot him. The first one that was shot, and his wife could quickly take him back to the shelter room. And then they attacked house by house to murder, to kidnap, to loot, hate and anger, and went back. And called the kids, the children and the women to come and enjoy the place and go back. In the end of the day, out of 400 people that were in the kibbutz, 117 people did not came out of the kibbutz. What does it mean? We didn't know. What does it mean? Maybe they were murdered, maybe they were kidnapped. We didn't know. And 117 people were missing. It took us a few weeks to make the whole list of what happened to whom. We found out that 1 at 4 people is missing. I can say that 27 people from this kibbutz are still in Gaza. 50 people were murdered. 10 of them are bodies that are still in Gaza. And 40 people from this kibbutz came back. Most of them are women and kids. This community was evacuated to hotel in Eilat for 3 months, moved to a few buildings in Kiryat Gat. It's a city in Israel. They are living there for 2 or 3 years until the place will rebuild. The security situation here was relatively balanced. We described it as 95% heaven. The flowers and butterflies, a very nice place, but 5% heaven. And when these security escalations happened, the operations, and now the war, we will go to see a few houses, and you will feel what happened here. now in the elderly people neighborhood. She was 79 years old. She used to live by herself. She invited her granddaughter Noya Dan for Simchat Torah. It was the last day of Sukkot holiday. Noya was 15 years old. She was a special need child. Just to celebrate the Sukkot event, and the terrorists arrived to her house and took Carmela and Noya, took them out of here to the Gaza border, which is that direction to the left. And then they burned the house. We don't know why they burned the house, because no one was here. 2 weeks after October 7, on the way to the Gaza Strip, and you will see the house. On the left there was the shelter room. You can see the house. That was the living room and the kitchen. You see that nothing was left here. Everything is burned. Four people hide under the bed, and they opened the safe room and they didn't see anyone. So they went out. They meeting in the living room. They used the refrigerator. They turned on the TV, and another one entered to the safe room. Look for people. Didn't see anyone. Closed the door. They were together in the living room. After a while, they decided to go on with the massacre, so they burned the house and left the house. The four people were hiding in the safe room and started to smell the smoke, so they put a wet towel on the entry, and after a while they couldn't breathe. They went out from a window and they wanted to go to the shelter room of the kibbutz, which is right next to them. But they couldn't do it because the terrorists were all around. So they hid another 4 hours in a plastic garage next to the room, and then from there they passed to the shelter room. Let's have a look in the house. All the house is totally burned. This is the safe room. They came out of the window. People of 80 years old and their granddaughter and boyfriend. They went out of the window in this plastic garage that for 4 hours. 4 people were hiding in this garage. They ran quickly to this building, which is the safe room of the kibbutz. After a few hours, at about 7 o'clock in the evening, army finally arrived. They gathered the people from the houses, the survivors. They gathered them to the safe room. And from the safe room, they went with the buses to Eilat. Okay. Oded was a peace seeker. Sick people from the Gaza border every Friday morning to hospitals in Israel. They needed treatment, like chemical treatment, and he had volunteers that took these people from Gaza to Hadassah Hospital in Jerusalem and took him back. It was agreed in this kibbutz, the attitude was that the neighbors in Gaza are not enemies, and if we want to live in peace, we have to achieve an agreement. That was the attitude of the kibbutz. Everyone knew about the Hamas, but it was a terror organization. No one believed that all the people there, including women and kids, would come to murder or to loot or to just damage the place.
사람이 살면서 가장 크게 스트레스를 받는 일이 바로 사랑하는 가족과의 헤어짐이라고 하죠. 이별입니다. 그런데 그 중에서도 테러리스트들에 의해서 반강제적으로가 아니라 아예 강제적으로 사랑하는 부모님이, 사랑하는 자녀가, 사랑하는 배우자가 끌려가서 169일이 넘도록 아직 생존조차 알 수 없다는 것은 얼마나 큰 아픔이고 비극이겠습니까? 저는 오늘 이곳 인질의 광장에 와서 이 가족들의 가장 큰 아픔을 온몸으로 스며들면서 느낄 수가 있었습니다. 과거에 600만 명의 유대인들을 대학살했던 독일 나치에 대해서 유대인들은 용서는 하되 잊지는 않겠다 이렇게 이야기를 했죠. 그런데 저는 오늘 이런 생각을 해봅니다. 잊지는 않되 용서도 할 수 없다. 반드시 이 땅에서 하마스는, IS는 점멸돼야 하고 척결해야 할 대상이다. 이것을 위해서 우리 온 인류가 힘써 싸워야 되지만 오직 이스라엘 혼자만이 이 엄청난 일을 맞서서 감당하고 있다는 사실을 여러분들이 기억해 주시고 이스라엘을 응원해 주시기 부탁드립니다.